Hello, I'm Jamie Buckland with the West Virginia FUE, Families United for Education, talking today with my friend Isis about her programs that she offers to all families from all sectors, no matter public school, private school, homeschool. So, Isis, why don't you get us started by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you started Fundamentals?
Yeah, awesome. Well, first, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm glad to be on today to get an opportunity to speak with your families. I am Isis Span. I am currently located in South Carolina with my amazing husband. I am a mom of four. I am a former public school educator, and now I am a entrepreneur. I think it's called an edupreneur now. We get new terms every day. So
Right.
yeah, so pretty much taking all of that experience and my levels of expertise from the classroom and just doing it on a larger scale now because I know that, the families, it was amazing work that I was doing in the classroom with my 20 families, but I knew that there were more families that, needed that same energy and just connection, grace, along with the expertise that I bring. So fundamentals of learning really started when I was in the classroom. I'm honestly not doing um too much, things different than I did when I was a classroom teacher. The only huge big difference is that now I'm doing it on my own outside of the system, outside of, just different things that, did stop me from doing, as much as I wanted to. So now I'm kind of, not kind of out and learning and still growing in this business, but definitely excited to continue to serve and work with families.
How long ago was it that you made the move to leave the classroom and launch out on your own?
Yeah, so June of 2021. So this is not, I haven't even been doing it a full year, full time. So the crazy part is I was half public school teacher and half business from 2019 until 2021. So for 2 years, I was still running my business, but I was running it more so like a side hustle, like a hobby. And
Hmm.
then in June is when I really decided, okay, do I want to go back into the system, sign this contract for another year, or do I just, want to branch out and just do it on my own? So yeah, so it's been about 10 months that I've been doing it, that I've been serving and working with fundamentals of learning full time.
So tell us a little bit about who all you serve, because as I understand that you have some kits right now for kindergarten and kindergartners in mathematics,
Right.
and then you also offer services. So who all would your audience be?
Yes. So our target audience is really families and learners that are on a pre-K through fifth grade learning level. So any family, any child that is having difficulties in reading, having, some challenges in math, we serve those families. Our learning kits is one of the ways that we do that. So we have a main kit that's called Kindergarten Counts, and that's for the full range, 36 weeks of kindergarten. And then we also have custom kits that are smaller, that are typically for 6 weeks of learning, and they can be customized for 3 weeks of reading and 3 weeks of math, or a family may decide we just want to do 6 weeks of vocabulary acquisition for a second grader, and we build the kit that way. So right now, kindergarten counts as our only like standard kit, and every other learning kit is customized. And that just means we meet with the families first, do a 15-20 minute consultation, talk about learning styles, talk about areas of concern, talk about areas where the child is doing really well, but we also talk about areas where the family, may be struggling a little. And that can be organization, that can be lesson planning, that can be making activities more engaging. So that's why the kits are custom, because one, family may say, hey, I really also need organization tips. I can't necessarily provide in a standard kit because I won't know that. So that's why those initial consultations and conversations with families is very, very important to me, because I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what your child and your family needs versus just dishing out a workbook to you.
I love that. So you're offering guidance and support to families who are, even if their children are enrolled full time at a school,
Yeah.
possibly, you're
Mhm.
still looking to support them and even help with assessment, and
Right.
not just assessment, but then build this kit and
Mhm.
help them figure out how to possibly catch up. We're coming off of this 2-year pandemic. I
Right.
imagine many families
Mhm.
are identifying holes in their children's education from the last 2 years. And so, what you're able to offer them is the opportunity to step in there, assess that, and then help them develop a plan to address
Right.
those concerns. Tell me a little bit about your work with someone who maybe is looking at, as an educational entrepreneur, to start a micro school or to start a homeschool co op. How do you
Right.
see your services meeting their needs?
Yeah, so our first project was actually a learning pod. So in 2021, we did a pilot. That would be one of my first, suggestions for anyone starting anything brand new. Like, you always want to pilot, you always want to do something very small. So we did a 4-week pilot with 50 families, and that was just to kind of see, is this needed? Is it necessary? Is it going to solve a problem? And then once I saw that, hey, yeah, families actually do need this thing in the way that I've, package it and put it together along with their suggestions. Now let's turn this into something that's going to be for a longer amount of time. After the pilot with the 50 families, we did 25 families, but we did it for 36 weeks. Pilot program was for kindergarten counts. And kindergarten counts was really birthed out of me as a kindergarten teacher seeing seeing packets of worksheets come home with 4 and 5 year olds, and I was just like, Lord have mercy, what is happening? This is not good for kids. I have to do something about this. And I was also seeing a lot of information shared about literacy, and I love literacy. I still teach literacy, but for the 5,000 links that I was seeing about reading, I probably saw 5 about math. So that's why I was very intentional on making this very first program super targeted on math, because in the state of South Carolina, children are doing worse in math than they are in literacy. And that's not a conversation that we have enough. The learning pod was for 36 weeks because I wanted to be with that family through the entire year. I didn't want it to be 4 weeks. I didn't want it to be one quarter. I wanted to be there every single week, making sure that they understood what was happening, that they understood the trajectory, how their child should be understanding math in August versus December versus March. But then I also brought on 5 individuals to work as coaches for the families. Because again, I'm really big on making sure that we understand every step of the way. And I knew just me checking in, once a week wasn't going to be good enough. So I wanted to give them somebody that they could call, text, email, and that was there with them the entire time. And the National Parents Union won for the pilot program, and then the Vela Education Fund also, for making sure that I had those funds to honestly make these programs run. And this year, actually last night, we hosted our first face-to-face kindergarten counts program. We're going to do that every Tuesday in May for families, again, just to make sure as they're either entering kindergarten or leaving kindergarten, they have a really strong math foundation.
I love it. I love it. Here in West Virginia, with the introduction of Hope Scholarship, I like to say that kind of my role is being part of building and crafting that non public infrastructure that we're lacking here as
Mhm.
students are applying for Hope Scholarship and being awarded that scholarship. We have to figure out how they're going to be educated. If they're not enrolling in a school full time, then who is educating them and how are they doing that? So I know we're going to see learning pods and micro schools popping up throughout the state. And I
Right.
love that you're a resource that we can connect them with
Yeah.
so that they can see somebody who's doing this on the ground in South Carolina and have that support and how they're implementing it. We're working with other entities that maybe offer some of the organizational structure for them getting off the ground, but you're offering this curriculum guidance that I think is just so it's needed, because why you're going to offer something is so important. Your educational philosophy, the pedagogy that you embrace is so important. How are we going to approach learning? I also love that you're willing to step into this space and say, look, let's talk about math. I know literacy is important, but let's talk about math. The
Yeah.
advocate in me is like, "Rawr." I
Yeah.
love it. It's great. It's great. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Now, if somebody wants to learn more, where are they going to go to get more information?
So you can go to ISISSpan, span with two N's, .com. We have tons of information on there. We actually have a brand new homeschool page that is dedicated specifically for families that are homeschooling, where you can browse and look at all the services. We have a free resources tab. So if you just want a download about colors or reading passages, math, we do have a free resources tab. We have access to our YouTube link also on isisspan.com, where I have free tutorials, videos that I've done from 5 years ago up to recently. But one of the main things that we're using right now is actually our private Facebook page, and it's called Families of Fundamentals of Learning. And that's where I do live sessions, I share resources, I answer direct questions from families about, just the things that they're facing currently right now. So ISISSpan.com and then the Families of Fundamentals of Learning. Those are the two places that I would direct families to right now if they want to connect and learn more.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. We're also going to get this up on our YouTube channel and trying to distribute it as widely as we can, even to families outside of West Virginia, because I think the work that you're doing is magnificent, and I want to make sure that other people have access to you. Thanks so much for talking with me today, and I will definitely be in touch soon to find out how things are going with your program as you continue to grow.
All right. Well,
And thank you, Isis. Have a great day.
you too. Thank you.